The floor of the main deck opens to reveal the deck beneath it. A plane of the floor of the main you see the lifeboat resting on the deck below. You see the vessel's foremost section spearhead. Unless you intend on commandeering the ship, you really have no place strutting around its fore. You should refrain from careless gallivanting. That would work, if you could swim. No need, the ship's not sinking. You should refrain. Wouldn't you prefer the latter? Your arms aren't long enough to reach all the way into the next screen. They work better with hands and feet. The ladder leads up to an upper part of the main deck. It is noble to seek the middle ground, but the middle deck's another matter. The pirates are unaccustomed to cheerful chatter. Even pirates keep quiet unless there's something important to report. You'll never be that thirsty. Even pirates, you'll never. Fortunately, the fall only left you with a few bruises, but the captain was none too pleased about the commotion you caused and had you immediately tossed back into the hold.
We're nearing well, don't.
A small ladder leads to a lower part of the main deck. The shields were likely stolen from other conquered vessels. The doorway to the galley gives way to darkness. The solid mast sways slightly. The sails have been fastened securely with knots you cannot name. This is the upper deck of the pirate ship. A ladder leads to a hatchway. The bright sun shines from a deep, cloudless blue. This is the upper deck of the This is the A rope ladder leads to the rigging. The ominous Jolly Roger flutters about wildly in the salty ocean breeze. A pirate you weren't meant to be. Leave the sails and flee the sea. You feel that you would make a bold statement of juvenile delinquency by pinning the Jolly Roger up to your bedroom wall. The only problem being that you no longer have a bedroom to go back to. You're no crow. Mast you always? Mast you? This isn't a circus. Your audience will only cheer if you fall off. Calling out from here isn't your job. Calling out from here isn't your job. Calling out. You don't want the job of lookout. From this vantage point, you cannot see into the crow's nest. You hear loud snoring from within. The mast dominates your view. Though sturdy, it sways with the pitching vessel. The rope ladder looks flimsy. The mast the ominous Jolly. You scan the horizon. Deep blue water reaches endlessly in every direction. Your current method of ascension is safer. A burly pirate has noticed you from inside the crow's nest. Before you can react, he yells, "You're dead meat, bucko!" and slashes at you with his sword. He misses, barely. A burly pirate has noticed you from inside the crow's. What some people will do for the view. You don't. A burly pirate has noticed you from inside the crow's nest. Before you can react, he yells, "You're dead meat, bucko!" and slashes at you with his sword. He misses, but you lose your balance. Down you tumble to your death. What some people will do for the view. The barrel is full of rum. The wooden dining table has seen better days. The remains of many meals are lodged between the stained oaken planks, and its top is deeply gouged. The ship's galley houses a large iron stove surrounded by many pots, pans, and barrels. A long table occupies most of the floor space. The ship's galley houses a large... These filthy pots and pans are used to cook the pirates' meals. Poor devils. It's an old wood stove. The barrel is full of rum. These filthy pots and pans. The ship's galley. You're no chef, as Mananan has attested many times. You have better things to do than sit around waiting for a meal that will never come. With all the gunk on it, you wonder if it's ever been washed. You like your fingers undercooked. Save your celebrations for when you're free again. Tempting, but no. Restrict your sampling to edibles. The crumbs are unappetizing. No chance of seeing your reflection in that. It's hotter than, well, you can imagine. Fortunately, the fall only left you with a few bruises, but the captain was none too pleased about the commotion you caused and had you immediately tossed back into the hold. Fortunately, the fall only left you with a few bruises, but the captain was none too pleased about the commotion you caused and had you immediately tossed back into the hold, warning you not to press your luck. You can't use that. You can't. Save your tempting. It's hot. With all the gunk on. It's an old wood stove. With all the gunk, you like your fingers undercooked. You can't. It's hot. Fortunately, the fall only left you. Fortunately, the fall only left you with a few bruises, but the captain was none too pleased about the commotion you caused and ordered his crew to drag you off to the aft end of the ship. As you sink, you hear the crew rooting for the shark. Now you know the penalty for disturbing the peace. Get close. Get close. Get close. Get close. Fortunate. Get A burly pirate has noticed you from inside the crow's nest. Before you can react, he yells, "You're dead meat, bucko!" and slashes at you with his sword. He misses, barely. A burly pirate has noticed you from inside the... What some people will do for the view.
The upper deck could do with a good scrubbing. Now get moving.
You can't, you can't, you can't, you can't, you imagine being able to fly it for a moment.
You took your merry time. Go over to the captain's cabin and dust the shelves.
Better not. He's armed with something mightier than a sword. Don't ruin this writer's work. You see no way of getting your items out of the chest without the captain noticing. You're not close enough. You're not. You see no way. You're not one to read late. You have better things to do. Its grandiose design suggests the ship might have belonged to an owner of some standing. The vessel's wake aids your sense of its direction. The vessel, its grandiose design, its grandi, thoughts of climbing overboard sync with the realization that you can't swim. Danger aside, it's not a bad way to shower. You are answered by creaks and groans.
That would wake you up.
You can't. He doesn't. A device for turning. You could, if you knew where you were. The chart traces the ship's route. You don't recognize the continents except the one you've just left. You wouldn't mind reading up on the pirates. It's damp. Meanwhile,
There you are. I have been looking all over the castle.
Where else would I be? Where else could I be?
What are you doing?
Only what I can. Nothing. Save watch my land fall into ruin while that winged abomination continues its reign of terror.
It serves not to dwell on matters beyond your...
My wife, do you not feel my anguish? Our own daughter has been taken. And I allowed it.
You had no choice.
There is always a choice.
True. You might have chosen Daventry's destruction. Years ago, you defied the dragon. Even now, the flames still lick at our crops. Imagine the suffering had you resisted further. As for your anguish, every day I weep for Rosella and our son, Alex.
No, I cannot bear to hear his name. Not now.
As you wish. But you must not let this destroy you. Daventry cannot afford to be without its king, nor I without the man I wed.
Were it only that he were here, I would do anything to heal my beloved realm, to make everything right.
Orders, Captain?
We're heading for Hesperia. Time to put all that booty to good use. What is it?
That course will take us close to Daventry, won't it?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
I must be confessing something to you, Captain. I be getting a tad nervous sailing this close to Daventry. What with that dragon I hear out telling those parts?
You lily-livered codfish! That beast sits over yon mountains, never comes near the shore from what I hear.
Hope you're right, Captain.
Of course I'm right, you jelly-legged squid! That reminds me, when we reach Hesperia, we'll see if we can't sell our new young'un in the market. Should fetch a pretty price. Oh, and make sure there's someone guarding the hatch. We don't want him trying to make a break for Daventry shore as we sail by.
Aye, Captain.
as the pirates spot land nearby, you are unceremoniously dumped in the cargo hold again to keep you from escaping.
He's been safely locked away in the hold, Captain. Say, have you seen this stuff we took off him? That kid carried some strange things. Where do you think he got them?
How should I know? I've heard tell a wizard lives in Ludor. The kid seemed eager to leave. He probably stole those things.
There's something else, too. Seems like a map.
Another treasure map?
Don't think so. Seems like a map of Ludor to me. Look! This here's the town where we made port! Whoa!
Better get myself a chest with a lock on it when we reach Hesperia.
You're not close enough. The mice are aboard for the ride and the food.
I've traveled on one of those royal vessels once. They're like a maze below decks.
I miss my 35 cousins. They never did come back from the lab. I miss my
A few weeks in isolation.
Did you know that Pirate Chef has at least 20 recipes on how to cook us? Remember the emergency plan. In case of fire, storm, or plague, find a money pouch and hide. Those things are always the first to be saved.
A few weeks.
I miss my 35. Did you know that Pirate Chef?
A few weeks.
I've traveled on one of those royal vessels once. They're like a maze.
A few weeks. A few weeks.
I've traveled on one of those royal.
A few.
I've traveled on.
A few.
I've traveled on one. Ever tried plugging a leak with your tail? Ever tried? I've traveled on one.
I miss my.
Ever tried? Do you know where we're going?
We'll be passing a beach near a big mountain range soon.
Ah, yes. I've heard the pirates say that nobody ever crossed those mountains alive.
They might object to being pets, and you might get to feel how much. They might object. The chest near the captain's bunk is closed. The desktop is highly organized, with quills arranged in order of feather size. It will not open to whims or words. You retrieve your stolen items. Curiously, you sneak a peek at the drawers. There's nothing of interest amongst the charts and logbooks. You wouldn't mind reading up on the pirates' past. You would. The desktop. The chart. It will serve you best if left where it is. You rub the magic stone. You rub. It appears the pirates anticipated your attempt at escaping and decided to keep a close eye on you.
Did you see the boy they brought along?
What about him?
The last passenger they took ended up on the slave market.